Hello, you're watching Proactive. I'm joined by Tonix Pharmaceuticals CEO, Dr. Seth Lederman. Seth, very good to speak with you again.
Thank you for having me on.
You're very welcome, Seth. So the FDA has awarded fast track designation for your drug candidate for the management of fibromyalgia after recognizing it as a serious condition. So good news for you and potentially for sufferers of this condition.
Yes, we're delighted that FDA has recognized TNX 102 as a fast track designation drug. And we expect that that will speed our interactions with FDA as we seek marketing approval, which we expect FDA to decide on next year in 2025.
Seth, can you tell us more about fibromyalgia, who it affects, and how widespread this is?
FDA has now recognized that fibromyalgia is a serious condition. It's known as a common chronic pain condition, and it affects mostly women, and it's a big problem in the United States and other countries. Tonix is focused on the United States market initially, where there are 10 million fibromyalgia patients.
And how big is this market? So what's the market's opportunity here, and how's it expected to grow?
Well, we recently commissioned some market analysis from a third-party firm, and we found that about more than 2 million people are diagnosed and treated for fibromyalgia. And we expect that somewhere between those 2 million diagnosed and treated patients and the total addressable market of 10 million adults is something like the market opportunity. The existing products, there are 3 approved drugs, all treat pain, but what we think is potentially differentiated about TNX 102 is that it had effects on pain, but it also had statistically significant improvements on sleep and fatigue. Another issue that seems to differentiate our product from the products in the market is tolerability. And we had a low incidence of side effects in our study and a healthy number of patients who stayed on the study for the full duration of the study, whereas tolerability is a real issue for the 3 approved products.
Seth, and what do your recent trials of TNX 102 show you?
Well, we've completed 2 phase 3 studies that resulted in statistically significant improvement in pain on the primary endpoint. So we believe we've satisfied all of the criteria for FDA approval. And the last study that we reported in December of 2023 showed improvement in pain, fatigue, and sleep. And those 3, pain, fatigue, and sleep, are really the 3 core problems that fibromyalgia patients complain about. And as I said, the data also showed a tolerability profile that we believe is differentiated from the other products.
Seth, now that you have that fast track designation, what are your next steps going to be?
Well, we are in the process of preparing the new drug application, or NDA. And this is a complex document. We expect to submit it to the agency in the second half of 2024, so that we're in the second half of 2024. And we expect a decision, which is usually a PDUFA date, in 2025. The fast track designation speeds the responses that we get from FDA, but there's also a possibility that we could qualify for priority review, which would mean a 6-month review instead of a 10-month review. So we expect FDA approval in 2025, and we're optimistic about that timeline and our chances of success.
Well, Seth, I hope you'll keep us posted on any progress. Thank you very much for speaking with us today.
Thank you.
That's Dr. Seth Lederman, the CEO of Tonix Pharmaceuticals.